Hello, welcome to Livestream Monday, and today we are going to talk about music in your craft and on your path. So we are going to talk about 5 different ways that we can kind of use music. Sometimes it's the same thing, right? Music in our practice. We're going to talk about the differences between songs and chants. And then we're going to talk about some of the awesome artists that we have. Hi, Whiskey. So say hello when you come in. So I want to start out by explaining why we're even talking about this today. One of the amazing ladies in this group brought this up, I think at the end of the Book of Shadows live stream, asked about doing a live stream about music. So this is something that somebody actually asked for. And music can really lend a lot to all of our practices in our lives. So music can really allow us to feel our feelings. So, we've got songs that make you happy, songs that kind of make you sad. There are songs that make you feel nostalgic. And music has a way of stimulating these feelings and in that, our energy in some really interesting ways. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So primarily, there are 3 types of music that we will see used on your path and in your craft. Instrumental music, so this could mean instruments, or this could just mean drums if you do drumming, or even like humming. Songs is the second one, and chants. So I want to first of all differentiate between songs and chants, because they're usually put together like, songs and chants. But the way that I see them, they are very different things. So a song includes like a verse and a chorus. It is an actual like song, the way that we think about songs on the radio. A chant is either one or 2 lines that are either spoken or chanted or sung. But it's just 1 or 2 lines that are kind of repeated multiple times. Songs have verses and chorus. Chants are 1 or 2 lines that are either spoken or sung. And then I also want to bring up toning. Toning is a cool way to raise energy and hold space, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But it's just simply using your voice. You're just basically singing an open vowel sound like or e. So that is, if you've never done toning, it's really cool when you have other people, because just the vibration of just that open vowel sound really can resonate like in your body and in your space. And if you haven't done that before, I really, really suggest that you do. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is, so we're going to talk about 5 different ways that we can use music in our practice. Hold on, I need to move my windows. Okay. So the first way is in ritual and celebration. We've got Sabbats. When we are choosing music to kind of accompany our Sabbats, we might be using it as part of our ritual, or we might be using it as part of our activity, or if it's just kind of like a casual celebration, that music can be put on in the background. There are a lot of different places that we can put music and add music into our Sabbat rituals. And usually with like a Sabbat ritual or celebration, we've got songs about the seasons. Like, for example, for fall, we've got fall leaves. We've got songs about goddesses, or like if you are doing a ritual and you're honoring a god or a goddess, you can easily find a song or a chant to honor that goddess. There are tons out there. I'm going to give you some people to look up in a little bit, but there are tons of artists out there that are amazing. And then the theme. So for example, if you are doing a Mabon or Harvest Home ritual and your theme is gratitude, you can find a song about gratitude. So those are the 3 main ways that we can integrate those songs for part of our Sabbats. if we're going to use something as a background, like background music in your celebrations, like volume is super key to this. Like, hi Liz, you're not going to want to have like really loud, if you are doing a ritual and you are speaking your ritual liturgy aloud, you don't want to have to be competing with your background music. So my suggestion is, if you do use background music, I can't speak today. If you use background music, make sure it is at an appropriate volume. So like test this. If you are doing this with with other people, you definitely want to kind of test where your background music volume is, because you're not going to want to stop a ritual and then to like, oh, let me turn down the volume, like, unless that is part of your plan. Like, I'm going to play this song and then as like an offering of some sort, and then I'm going to lower the volume. It's really weird, and it kind of messes with the energy of ritual if you're like, oh no, let me stop. And if you cast a circle, like, how do I turn it down? And it really kind of disrupts that ritual energy. So you want to make sure that you are comfortable with the volume of your background music. I suggest that you have no words in it unless you want to sing, or unless it is part of like an offering or a devotion, or there's a reason for it to have words, because again, you don't want to be competing with it, and it can be kind of distracting. Another way that we can use music in our celebrations and rituals is by procession. So for example, my coven for Samhain, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, we did our Samhain ritual, and we did a frame drum procession through the neighborhood. And it was rad. It's a super interesting experience. And it was just basically us drumming a super simple beat over and over again. And it kind of gets you into a trance. And when you have an intention that is attached to it, it can be a really amazing, deep experience. Like, our drumming was to honor and call to our ancestors before we did our Samhain ritual. So you can do that, or you can sing, or you can chant a song. You can chant or you can sing. And all a procession is you're going from one place to another place, mostly like holding an intention. But really, it's just you're walking and you're doing something. So like, you can sing, you can drum, you can play an instrument. It's really like a parade is kind of like a procession, right? So it's a really cool thing to do, especially if you are doing something with other people. And even if you're not doing something with other people, you can still include processions in your craft, in your path, in your practices, in your ceremonies. I mean, if you are in a house, you probably have a hallway. You can proceed from one end of the house through walking slowly, holding that intention, singing or using a drum, or clapping your hands, or making some sort of noise, or even just silently. You could even, if you are with other people, you can even time your steps together instead of drums. And I do want to say, I completely include drumming and percussion as music, just like chant. Like, I'm including like spoken chant as music, because most of spoken chant is percussive, and it kind of echoes what we could do on the drum. So just as an FYI, all of that to me is music. And the final way that we can include music in our in our rituals and celebrations is an energy raising, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Another way that we can use music in our practice is with meditation. There are some really cool videos on YouTube that have music attached to them, and it's usually called study music or alpha music or music for sleep. And it is like very synthy, and there isn't any like actual beat. So there are songs that have beats, but we tend to kind of focus on the beat and kind of which is great because you can get into a trance that way. But with meditation, when you have this just like slow synth with no actual beat, it is very different, and it's very interesting because your brain doesn't have a beat to attach itself to. You're not like waiting for the beat, because you just kind of get used to, the beat. Like, for example, like when you're dancing, if you're dancing at a club and then the music cuts off, or they like change the song really like quickly without fading it out, and everybody's like, they were dancing to a beat, and everybody's like, oh, what's happening? And everybody kind of stops. You kind of don't want that with your meditation. So this new alpha music synth stuff is pretty awesome. I also, today, I did a little bit of research about binaural beats. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's basically two tones, I guess that's the binaural part of it, that are played at the same time. And it works off of this like concept called entrainment, which just means matching. And so what it's doing is the tones are actually messing with your brain waves to slow your brain waves down to get it to where you want it to be. So there's like alpha binaural beats and beta and theta. So there are different kinds of like, there are different, I guess, goals to this binaural beats. And so I listened to one, and I'll post it in the comments, the one I was listening to, because I saved it. And it was the weirdest thing. Like, because so I'm at my day job and I have my headphones in, and I'm like, I'm gonna listen to this binaural beat, right? So I go and I'm listening, and it just I felt my brain, I felt like my brain was slowing down. So if you have problems meditating, that might be something you want to look into. But there are some cautions with it. Like if you have a seizure disorder, you don't want to listen to it. You don't want kids to listen to it, because it actually influences your brain waves, and their brains aren't like fully formed. So you don't want that. If you have a heart problem, if you have like schizophrenia, that's another caution that I read about. So, if you have some of these things, you might not want to listen to it. But it was spooky how weird it made me like feel. It didn't make me feel like high, but I could definitely tell that it was doing something. So if you're in for an adventure, I guess, yeah, I don't know, maybe that's my idea of adventure, but you might want to try that. It's called binaural beats. So that's a good idea for meditation if you have problems with meditation. Another way that we can incorporate music is through deity devotions. So if you have a deity that you honor, like specifically, or if you just honor the earth god or the moon goddess, or forest god, or whoever you honor, there's probably going to be some songs written about them. If not songs, then poetry that you can make. You can then create your own songs. You can create your own tune to some poetry if there are no songs that are available. But there really are a lot of songs about a lot of gods and goddesses out there. You can always, look it up on YouTube. Like if you're looking for a song about Bridget, you've got a million. There's like a million songs written about Bridget. So you can just go on YouTube and, type in the name of your goddess that you're looking, you're trying to find a song for, and song, or if you know the artists that you're interested in, you can always type that as well, obviously. But there are a lot of songs out there, and you can incorporate them as part of your devotional ritual. So if you are doing a huge Sabbath and you are honoring Bridget because it's Imbolc, and most people honor Bridget at Imbolc, you can like play that song, or you can play that song and sing that song, or you can just sing that song, and that can be part of your offering, or it can just be like a background song, or a song that you do like a procession to. There are a lot of cool ways that you can incorporate that sort of music. And also, if you have a patron god or goddess, and you are finding that you're not doing like your devotional rituals that you would really like to do, finding a song is, and learning it and singing it is it's a very easy way to kind of step back into getting more connected to your deity, or more connected into your devotional practice, because that's a song you can sing. You can just stand in front of your shrine if you have one, or if you are a kitchen witch, and you can stand in your kitchen and you can just sing that song intentionally as an act of devotion. So it's a really easy way that you can just kind of come back to that, come back to that devotions, and it's not going to be overwhelming, because I know I sometimes slack in my practice, and there really isn't slacking, because there's no judgment. Everybody has different practices. But I when I say slacking, I mean I'm comparing myself to myself and what I would like to see my practice look like. And so I can always come back to music. I can always come back to a song. I can always come back to some poetry. And it's an easy way to kind of reconnect and really start having like your good spiritual habits. And by good spiritual habits, of course, I mean creating the path that you want to see in your life. Okay. We can also use music for energy raising. So I've used music and chanting and songs for energy raising before. For energy raising itself, I do not suggest songs. I don't suggest a very long song with verses and chorus. I have not found that to be very successful in helping raise energy. However, chants and toning seem to work really, really well. So there is a chant that I learned, and I've done it before, and it's a 4-syllable chant, and it's A-O-O-A. So easy, right? A-O-O-A. 4 syllables, 4 tones. And I originally learned it as a space holding chant, and I originally kind of debuted it like myself, like in a circle at a healing ritual. And I was like, okay, we're going to use this chant to hold the space while people are coming in and offering healing, right? So I'm like, this is great. A-O-O-A, super easy. Everybody can do it. And it's really, you're not just like A-O-O-A. It's like A-O-O-A, A-O-O-A, A-O-O-A. So, I mean, you want to slow it down. You don't want it to be fast like that. But so it's a very simple, like, toning chant that gets everybody aligned with one another, and it is a great way to hold that space in like a circle like that. However, what I was not expecting, and there's always something unexpected, right? Like, you can't always predict what's going to happen, but it's turned into an energy raising chant. Like, it just got crazy. Like, the energy just started like coming up, and we started like building harmony. There were harmonies that started coming in, like instead of A-O-O-A, A-O-O-A. So we had all of this like beautiful like music that was happening that just came out of A-O-O-A. And we got louder, and the tones got like deeper, like the not like note wise, but just like the vibration that were coming out from all of us. And it was one of the most powerful like energy raisings I've ever really had the honor to be part of. And it all just came about because like I thought this would be a good space holding chant, and it ended up being an amazing energy raising chant. So I would suggest doing that as well, because you can actually, hold on a second. I'm going to like back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. Also, if you are going to do chants that are words, I went to a really great workshop at Pantheacon a couple years ago, and the facilitator suggested that 4-syllable chants are better for holding space, and hence the A-O-O-A, right? And then 5-syllable chants are better at raising energy, because there's a little bit of a difference. Again, your mind, we're so used to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, we're used to those beats. That's just kind of how our brains want to work. So when we like add another syllable in there, and I know because I've been working with a pattern on my drum that it's like 5 notes or whatever instead of 4. And by throwing that other syllable, that other word in, it just does something. It makes it, I don't know, it just shifts the energy. And you can try this yourself. So this is the part where I wish I would have come up with some examples, but I did not. So for example, okay, so for example, like a 4-word chant would be like, change my pattern, change my patterns, change my patterns. If you're like, let's say you're trying to break away from your bad habits and get new, better habits or something. You probably would create a better chant than this, but like right this second, that's all I can come up with, because that's what kind of was on my affirmation card today, something about that. So change my patterns, change my patterns, change my patterns, change my patterns, change my patterns. So when you're chanting this thing over and over again, you know, it's like a chicka 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 chicka. Like you can feel it, and that's great, and it raises energy just fine. But a 5-syllable chant, like we'll throw something else in there. So let's see, like money come to me, money come to me, money come to me, money come to, money come to me, money come to me, money come to me, money come to me, money come to me. So you see, it just has a different energy. So what I suggest that you do is try that out. Just saying it, right? Just letting that vibration come up in your body and come out of your mouth and put it out into the universe. You know, try something that's got four words. Like instead of money is mine, money is mine, money is mine, money is mine, money is mine. Money come to me, money come to me, money come to me. It's just a different energy pattern. So I suggest that you try that if you've never tried that before. It's pretty, I feel like you'll be able to feel it. You might not be able to kind of feel it or hear it so much here, but if you try it out, I feel like you'll probably understand kind of what I'm trying to get across. Another thing about energy raising, it's all about your volume and your speed. So it's really cool because when you're doing chanting, you can dance, you can walk around, because it's pretty cool, because when you're chanting, you're using all of this, but you can do a gesture, you can drum, you can walk, you can do, when you're raising energy, you can dance, you can do all kinds of other cool things to help you raise that energy. Even if you're just holding hands with your friends, or you are just putting your hands on something that you're trying to charge or heal or whatever. But the two things that really will help you align and raise that energy is volume and speed. So you can use both of these, but you can just choose one. So if we're doing money come to me, I'm going to bring my thing over here because I'm going to whisper, and I want to make sure you can hear me. Okay, so you can start like, money come to me, 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 money come to me. So you can see like it builds, like you start really little, like your little whispers, and then you can just build on that, and more you build, the louder you get the energy. You will just feel the energy start to come through. The other thing is speed. So if you are not in a place, like say you're in an apartment complex and you are thinking, I probably shouldn't be super loud because it's 11 o'clock at night and my neighbors will hate me, and I don't want that to happen. You can, instead of using volume, you can use speed. So you can do like, money come to me, 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 money come to me. So you can speed up your pattern of your chant, and that also will help you raise the energy. Now, if you put both of those things together, it's pretty awesome. But those are two really good ways that you're able to use chanting in order to help raise that energy. And you can do the same thing with toning, like A-O-O-A. that when you're toning, it's kind of harder to do the speed because you don't want to be like AOA, AOA, you know, it's not going to feel cohesive. So that's probably better with volume, but you don't have to use words. You can also do that toning. And then you can always, like I said earlier, bring in that harmonic stuff. So if you're with other people, you can do that. Or even if you're by yourself, you can play with it. You can play with the sound. You can play with the notes. You could do that sort of thing. One of the things that I want to do on the retreat next year, I'm planning a retreat, and I want to do my spontaneous song workshop, which has to do with toning and creating your own songs, and allowing your intuition and your inner self to like guide where the songs go, which is very scary if you're not like a singer. Like I am not I never had a voice lesson. My claim to singing fame was I was in special chorus in 5th grade, right? Anybody else? But my dog just made a funny noise. But so that, you know, it can be kind of scary and can put you in kind of a vulnerable place, but it's also a really cool place to be. And then I want to talk really quickly about the 5th way that we can kind of incorporate that music and chant into our practices is everyday life. Like what songs make you feel witchy? What songs lift your spirit? What songs strengthen your intentions? And then you can make playlists for them. That's my suggestion. That is one way to like come off of this live stream and put stuff into practice. One of those ways is to just create a witchy playlist. And when you start to feel witchy and you kind of want to revel in that a little bit, like we all sometimes will come across these feelings, and we know music can exacerbate that feeling. So it might be a feeling of sadness if we're like, we want to wallow. We just want to wallow sometimes, like everything's terrible and I want to wallow. And music can make you like feel worse or make you feel like validated in your, you know, sadness, or it can help you pick up your spirits. So, or it can help you feel witchy. So it's up to you to create a playlist to, like what is your witchy playlist? Like what songs would be on that? All right. So then I really want to talk quickly about the artists that are pretty popular. If you have any artist recommendations, whether you're watching it now or you're watching this on the replay, you can go ahead and type them into the comments. I'm going to give you a couple of my recommendations for chants. This is the first group that I found. It's called Labana. It is a women's group. It's mostly a cappella, lots of harmony, lots of rounds. I was a Girl Scout, and so we sang all the time. We did like Sing Some Mores, where we would teach the younger kids all these songs and these rounds. And so I really enjoy rounds, and I really enjoy like point and counterpoint sorts of songs and chants that weave in and out. I love all of that. So Labana is great for that. Reclaiming has a lot of really good chant songs. It's not as like it doesn't sound as professionally beautiful as like Labana. You can tell Labana, I mean, I think Labana has to be my favorite, right? But it's pretty good. Also Spiral Rhythm also is a group that does chants, that does a lot of chants. And you can look those people up on YouTube. For songs, Lindy Lila is a good artist. Celia, Lisa Thiel, Kellyanna. If you like to sing, Kellyanna's songs are very singable. They're in a very accessible range. S.J. Tucker is really fun. Wendy Rule has like a really great ethereal sounding voice. So those are some of the artists that I like. And I did bring this up, I think in the Book of Shadows live stream, I think. But this is my new book. I have been looking for a book like this forever. This is called Circle of Song, Songs, Chants, and Dances for Ritual and Celebration, compiled by Kate Marks. And it's basically a songbook. It is like your pagan songbook. It's got sheet music. I highly, highly, highly recommend this book, by the way. I'm super excited. Turns out it's been around since the 90s, and I didn't know, so that's kind of bugs me because I've been looking for something like this since the 90s. but it is broken out like sacred space, elements, male power, woman power, honoring all our relations, which is like more Native American aspects and songs, healing and love, peace and unity, lots of peace and unity, which is great. And then there's like, of course, there's an index that's great. And there are some dances in here too that's pretty cool. But I really enjoy, like, they're not all long songs. Some of them are like very short songs, and some of them are songs that I learned in Girl Scouts, like Havenu Shalom. I can't speak today. Sorry, guys. We even had a dance to this that was very similar to this that my mom had made up for Girl Scouts. But they've got like Rise Up, O Flame, I think is in here, and I learned that in Girl Scouts, and we sing that often. That's a great song to sing when you're lighting up a fire. So that's pretty much it. I just want to kind of share a little bit about how we can use music and the craft and on your path. Not everybody does ritual, but almost everybody does some sort of celebration or activity to celebrate the Sabbats. A lot of us do workings on the S-spots, and we might be raising energy, and we can use music for that. We use music as part of our devotions to deity. We can use it like that. We can use it in our everyday life to help us feel the way we want to feel, whether that's witchy or happy or, emboldened, encouraged, etc. And we can use it for meditation. So that's pretty much all I have tonight. It's kind of a quiet night. That's kind of cool though anyway. I just want to say hi to everybody who joined. And again, if you are watching this on the replay, I'm probably going to put it in the words, but literally can't speak today. Sorry. Evidently, I used all my words up yesterday on that live stream. But just thanks for watching this. And I really hope that this helps you think about some new ways that you are able to incorporate music in your magic, in your craft, in your path. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.